Actor Richard Chamberlain has died in Hawaii at the age of 90. But just days after his memorial service, news has emerged that the FBI unexpectedly discovered a strange letter hidden in his secret office. What was the content of the letter that sparked the investigation? What secrets did Chamberlain carry with him for nearly a century? Let's find out. Background. Born in 1934 in Beverly Hills, California, George Richard Chamberlain was soon known for his handsome appearance, polite demeanor, and deep voice. He rose to fame in the early 1960s with the role of Dr. James Kildare in the series Dr. Kildare, one of the first medical shows to cause a stir in the US. Not only did it earn him the title of television prince, but the series also made Chamberlain the most popular face on the small screen for many years. After his initial success, Chamberlain did not stop there. He continued to affirm his name through large-scale miniseries such as Shogun, 1980, a series adapted from a historical novel about feudal Japan, and The Thorn Birds, 1983, a psychological drama considered one of the most popular miniseries of all time. With The Thorn Birds, he won the Golden Globe for Best Actor and was dubbed the King of Miniseries. Richard Chamberlain was not only famous for his acting talent, but also known for being a private person, avoiding Hollywood scandals. After officially coming out as gay in his 2003 memoir Shattered Love, he gradually withdrew from the entertainment industry and moved to Hawaii with his partner, director and producer Martin Rabbit. The couple lived in seclusion in a beachside villa in Waimanalo, a quiet area on the island of Oahu, where they raised dogs, tended gardens, and occasionally wrote. Although he no longer appeared on television, Chamberlain was still loved for his old roles and his quiet but humane presence in the older LGBTQ+ community. On March 29, 2025, Richard Chamberlain passed away at his home at the age of 90. The cause was confirmed to be complications from a stroke. Martin Rabbit, who cared for him in his final months, made an emotional statement on behalf of the family. "We are so lucky to have known such a wonderful and loving soul." After his death, Chamberlain's mansion was sealed off for an inventory of his estate and the preservation of his documents. During this process, a small, secluded room at the back of the main house attracted attention. This was Chamberlain's private office, where he spent each morning writing diaries, letters, and even drafting some unpublished manuscripts. According to Martin Rabbit, the room was used by no servants. Only 2 people, and many of the documents had not been taken out in 20 years. The room was designed like a miniature library with wooden shelves, an antique typewriter, hundreds of rare books, and a safe built into the wall. Among the documents seized by the FBI for examination after signs of suspicion, the most prominent was a handwritten letter, carefully placed in a yellow envelope with no postmark and no return address. The presence of this letter and its contents is what sparked the series of questions and theories that are being investigated. The shocking discovery. According to some recent rumors, one morning, when the legal staff were sorting through Richard Chamberlain's papers at his mansion in Waimanalo, Hawaii, a shocking discovery was made. While examining the locked drawers of his desk, they found an old yellow envelope, faded with age but still showing signs of having been unopened. Written in clear handwriting on the envelope were the words, "Do not open until I am dead." The envelope attracted immediate attention because it was not only aloof, but also hinted at a deep secret that Chamberlain had kept throughout his life. A source close to the matter revealed that the envelope was found in a drawer used only by Chamberlain and his partner, Martin Rabbit, and contained personal letters and manuscripts that had never been made public. This adds to the curiosity about what is inside. Is it part of the legacy Chamberlain wanted to leave to the public? Or is it simply a confession he decided to keep private until his death? Although the contents of the letter have not been officially released, leaks from newspapers, such as Variety and the Los Angeles Times, have shown that the letter contains a long list of prominent names in the entertainment industry. Sources say the list includes people who are still active in the industry as well as those who have passed away, but the names have not been revealed. It is worth noting that some of the names on the list may be related to major scandals that people in the industry have always tried to deny or forget. One of the most interesting details in the letter is the reference to people being harmed in the 1970s and 1980s, a tumultuous period in the American entertainment industry. These words not only raised public skepticism, but also raised the question of whether Chamberlain, who was once a prominent Hollywood star, was a silent witness to a system full of secrets that had been hidden for decades. The letter also mentioned a specific scandal in which a famous star had to leave Hollywood because of dark conspiracies. Although the victim was not named, the descriptions in the letter matched an incident that caused a stir in Hollywood in 1982. A former entertainment industry employee shared that, according to what was revealed, Chamberlain may have been a witness to these events, but due to fear and pressure from the system, he decided to keep silent all this time. Shortly after the letter was discovered, representatives from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, were invited to join the investigation. Several FBI officials confirmed that they were actively working to verify the authenticity of the information in the letter. According to the official announcement from the agency, the letter not only contained revelations about Chamberlain himself, but also signs of connection to scandals and wrongdoing in the US film industry. The discovery of this letter has raised a wave of questions about secrets buried for decades. The investigation has examined other documents that Chamberlain kept in his office, including unpublished manuscripts and personal diaries. Notably, some of the manuscripts show signs of being written at different times, leading investigators to suspect that Chamberlain had been writing the letter slowly over a long period, not just in the final months of his life. This may indicate that he has been accumulating and reflecting on what he has witnessed as a way to finally free himself from the psychological pressures of the past. FBI analysts believe that the letter could open up untold stories about secrets from Hollywood's past that could completely change the public's view of many stars, producers, and important decisions in the entertainment industry. Some industry experts also say that if what is in the letter is authentic, it could sound a wake-up call about injustices that have existed for a long time, which may now come to light. The media and industry experts quickly came up with several theories surrounding the contents of the letter. One of the most popular theories is that the letter could be part of an unfinished memoir by Chamberlain, where he wanted to record memories and secrets that were never made public during his career. This is especially plausible considering that Chamberlain was a very private person, and he may have kept these facts to share only after his death. Additionally, some have suggested that the letter could contain allegations of misconduct in the entertainment industry, specifically stories about the treatment of homosexuals, an issue that Chamberlain had experienced throughout his career. When he publicly acknowledged his sexuality in his autobiography, Shattered Love, many believed that Chamberlain had suffered years of discrimination and prejudice. So this letter could be his final confession, a way for him to free himself from the burdens of the past. Few people know that behind the halo of TV star Richard Chamberlain are the pains and secrets that he had to hide all his life. His memoir Shattered Love, 2003, not only revealed the pressures, but also opened a haunting story of inner struggles. Are these truths, the secrets recorded in the book, part of the untold events of Hollywood? Let's explore the signs from the past and find out why Chamberlain decided to reveal these secrets when he reached the peak of his career. Signs from the past. In 2003, Richard Chamberlain publicly acknowledged his sexuality in his memoir Shattered Love, an autobiographical work that he had carefully kept private for many years. The book was not only a confession, but also an explanation of his life, especially the challenges he faced in the Hollywood entertainment industry. In it, Chamberlain described how much of his life was dominated by harsh pressures from society and the industry. He shared that, as a rising star of television and film, he lived in fear of being discovered as gay. Chamberlain admitted that he had always had to hide his sexuality because in the 60s and 70s, Hollywood was still an extremely hostile environment for gay people. Revealing his sexual orientation at that time could easily ruin any star's career, especially when production companies and studio executives required stars to maintain a perfect public image. Chamberlain revealed that over the years, he faced harsh demands from studios, especially when he was asked to engage in fake relationships with famous female stars to maintain a public image. Production executives and film companies wanted their stars to maintain a perfect image in the eyes of the public. So Chamberlain had to engage in fake relationships, even publicly dating actresses, when he had no real feelings for them. This put him in a state of extreme stress, as he had to pretend to live a life that he was not. He described this in his memoir as feeling in a cage where he could not be himself. This was not only a psychological burden, but also had a major impact on his personal relationships and long-term career. Having to live this false life was one of the most painful factors in his career. Chamberlain also shared in many interviews the painful feelings he suffered during his time in the dark. One of the most memorable quotes from these interviews was, "I hated myself so much and was afraid of who I was." This is a painful admission of what it was like to be gay, to hide yourself for decades for fear of losing your career and reputation. For someone like Chamberlain, not only did fame bring benefits, but it also came with terrible consequences, with your reputation and career threatened if you revealed your true sexuality. This feeling of self-loathing is not easy to share, especially when Chamberlain lived in a world where discrimination and prejudice were so common. This is all the more serious considering the mental toll he suffered from being asked to keep his private life a secret for years, even until he began writing his memoirs in the early 2000s. Chamberlain not only shared his personal experiences, but also recorded important events he witnessed, which may have been related to dark secrets in the film industry. Film experts have suggested that shattered love may be part of the private notes that Chamberlain carefully kept for posterity. Some industry researchers believe that, in addition to the story of his personal life, the book also contains never-before-revealed truths about major scandals, bad decisions by producers, and abuses of power in the entertainment industry. This memoir is a milestone in Chamberlain's life, where he not only freed himself, but also left the world with unknown stories about Hollywood in the 70s and 80s. His choice to reveal everything at that time was not only an act of liberation, but also a way to heal the deep wounds that he had to carry throughout his life. In his memoir Shattered Love, 2003, Chamberlain admitted that he felt extremely self-loathing for living a lie. He often dodged interview questions about why he had never married, with his answer always being, "It would be great to be married, but I'm too busy right now." This avoidance and pretense became an integral part of his life for many years, until he felt strong enough to publicly acknowledge his true sexuality in 2003. In this way, Chamberlain hid the truth about his sexual orientation, not only to protect himself from criticism, but also to maintain his career in a Hollywood full of prejudice at the time. This concealment was not only a great sacrifice to his personal life, but also part of the story of the pain and internal struggle that Chamberlain endured over the years. How did Richard Chamberlain's life change after he publicly admitted his true sexuality in his memoir Shattered Love? Did coming out of the shadows bring him the freedom and peace he had been searching for? Discover Chamberlain's life after he left behind the secrets and pressures to live as his true self. Life after. After coming out as gay in his 2003 memoir Shattered Love, Richard Chamberlain's life changed dramatically. Although he endured years of secrecy, his life after coming out was not an immediate revolution, but it did help him feel freer and more authentic to himself. Before coming out, Chamberlain was the epitome of a television prince, a handsome, charming man who was loved by the public, especially in the 1960s as Dr. Kildare. However, throughout this time, he faced demands from the film industry, including maintaining romantic relationships with female stars in order to hide the truth about his sexual orientation. These struggles not only took a toll on Chamberlain's personal life, but also left him feeling guilty and ashamed of himself. After coming out, although he no longer had to live a lie, Chamberlain faced a mixed reaction from the public and the media. Some in the entertainment industry may not have been surprised because they had known about his sexuality, while others were surprised or even disappointed. However, Chamberlain no longer had to fear losing his career. In fact, after coming out, he continued to be loved and respected for his contributions to the film industry, especially with successful series such as The Thorn Birds and Shogun, which helped to affirm his talent. However, his life became less noisy when he left Hollywood and moved to Hawaii. Here, Chamberlain enjoyed a more peaceful and private life, spending more time with his long-term partner, Martin Rabbit, who had been by his side and supported him through the difficult years. They shared peaceful and happy moments and engaged in the artistic and charitable activities that Chamberlain still loved. However, coming out also helped him find true freedom. "I no longer had to live in fear and inauthentically. I could be myself, and that was the most important thing," Chamberlain shared in several interviews after the book's release. Although it was not an immediate transformation, Chamberlain could feel the change in the way he saw himself and in the way others saw him. Chamberlain was able to live a happier and more peaceful life after coming out, and despite the lack of public events, he is still remembered as one of Hollywood's stars with an inspiring story of self-acceptance and struggle with self. What do you think about celebrities coming out? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting updates. Thank you, and see you in the next videos.